Hey guys, former WWE superstar Hornswoggle here. Make sure you're tuning in to Aaron and Tom and the incredible Hot Tag Hooligans podcast. I know I will be. Take care.
Yeah, Lord help me, I just need some motivation. And I got tired of all these rumors and they hating. I feel my best when I'm worry free. Mama, don't you worry, ain't nobody hurting me. Yeah, Lord help me, I just need some motivation. And I got
Welcome, everybody, to the Hot Tag Hooligans Wrestling Podcast Show. My name is Aaron. Join with me, as always, is Tom. Tonight, we have a very, very, very special guest. It's the hottest name in women's wrestling right now. It's Miss Thunder Rosa. How's it going?
I'm doing great. I'm actually really surprised about the whole the Twitter and Instagram. Dude, it might be people have been blowing my phone, like my personal phone and like Instagram, Facebook messages. Like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. I was like, happy for what? Because I lost the championship. That's fine, thanks. So yeah, but I'm good.
So let's talk about the championship real quick. You actually lost that to Serena Deeb last night. I haven't been able to watch the match yet. Did she cheat? Just be honest with us. Did she cheat?
No, she didn't. She didn't cheat. She capitalized on a mistake that I made because I got a little overconfident at the end and I thought I had it and I didn't. So
Awesome. Go ahead, Tom.
So I know you grew up in Mexico and you recently become a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
But talk about your early memories of wrestling growing up in a cultural-rich country.
I really didn't really watch wrestling.
Okay.
It was very little. Like, I guess if you're talking about wrestling things that I've done or I was involved in, I will say it will be movies. That Santo and Blue Demon that were really big. They're very, very big in the culture, and I used to watch that a lot. So I will tell you that like every Sunday or every Saturday I used to watch that, and it was a lot of fun.
So what age did you actually get into professional wrestling then?
26.
Were there anybody who influenced you to get into wrestling that make you make that jump?
You know what? Not really. I think it was like my husband he always had a dream to be a professional wrestler, and he came up with the greatest idea with me being a project of his and become a professional wrestler because he couldn't do it anymore.
Looking at your career right now, we talked about this
Sorry.
year's. No, you're fine. Hey, we've had cats jump in the picture. We've had dogs knock over stuff. You are perfectly fine.
Tiger dog, go, Tiger dog, bye. Let me talk, Tiger dog. This dog is my friend's dog, and like he's super lovable, but he's like on my face. Go ahead and ask me a question.
No, you're fine. 2020, as crazy as it has been in this world, it has been perhaps your coming out party. How has that made you feel so far? Because you have been a name in the wrestling world. You know, you started about 5 years ago. Is that correct? And
Yes. No, 6 years ago.
But 2020 has really been your coming out party. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Look, man, I was just talking about this with my friend this evening, and 2020 for me was a year of reinventing myself as a person, and that trickled down into becoming a better wrestler. And I mean, if you think about it, I wasn't really wrestling that much. I was really active on social media. Like I focused so much on building my social media during the pandemic during March and April, because I knew by the time we were going to start wrestling that people are going to be like, oh, Thunder Rosa is active. She's like out there and she's doing stuff. So as soon as things opened up in Texas, like that was my first thing. And then two, like with a lot of the negative stuff that happened during this time, like we turned it into a positive. Like we started a costume matches for me personally. Like that's a project that I wanted to do for many, many years. And I finally pulled the trigger and I was like, I'm going to do it now. So we got a camera and we started doing it. We started learning YouTube. We got to create a website. We became more in tune with our fans on Twitter and Instagram. And then once things started opening up, then we started taking over stuff. And for that, like, I was defending the championship as many times as I could, when I could. And the most important thing for me now is Mission Pro Wrestling. We revamped Mission Pro Wrestling, which is an all-around female promotion, and I became the face of the company. And right now, we are almost sold out of our second show. We have great supporters and sponsors, and we're heading to our second show not this Friday, but the following Friday, and we're like super excited. I mean, besides, like I said, besides wrestling, everything else that I've been doing outside of wrestling has made my name bigger than what it was, and now my sole focus is to make Mission Pro Wrestling and bring awareness to women's wrestling to another level. And I'm just not talking about in the ring. I'm talking about like all the socioeconomic and political implications that professional wrestling has towards women. Equality, with sexual harassment, with all the stuff that happened during the Speak Out situation. I think it brought a lot of things for me that I was like, okay, this is my call. Like, this is what God brought me in, and is to bring that and to educate the future generations of independent professional wrestlers for the future, so they can become more, so they can advocate for themselves, so they can be smart about the things that they do in this business, and also for people to respect them as human beings and as independent contractors, because I feel like sometimes because of the opportunity, we are being taken advantage of.
Yeah, over this past year, I'm seeing more and more just female-only promotions starting to pop up a little bit. And I was going to ask you a little bit about your Mission Pro Wrestling, because I know we've interviewed a lot of talent who has actually gone over and wrestled for you guys for the first show that you guys have. Do you find yourself being a better promoter and mainstay that way, or a wrestler right now in your mindset?
Both. Because for me, it's very important that if I'm going to be preaching something, that I'm actually practicing it. So if I said, ladies, let's advocate for ourselves to get more time on TV, and I'm putting very crappy matches every time I get in the ring, nobody's going to take me serious. So every time I get in that ring, it's like I seriously act like it's my last match. Every single time. And every time I bring something to the table, I bring it with passion and with commitment. Otherwise, I'm not even going to do things half-assed. I mean, the reason why a lot of people respect me is not the fact that I wear face paint. It's because every time I get in the ring and outside of the ring, I'm a professional, and I have so much respect for this business, and I work really, really hard for the spot that I have, because nobody gave it to me. Everything I have earned it. And I always tell the ladies, when you do things on your own terms, and you don't have nothing, look back and you don't own anything to anybody, believe me, people are going to respect you even more.
One of the things that really drives me nuts when I hear people say is that women can't draw. Your response to that is what?
Fuck that shit. That's my response. I'm a draw. I'm a woman. I have a vagina. So I can tell you a lot. I go above and beyond to show that I'm a professional athlete, and I deserve respect, and I reserve the same amount of money that other champions get, because I draw. I sell tickets.
Go ahead, Tom.
So, wasn't long into your career that you were asked to go and work in Japan for Stardom. Can you tell us about that experience and what that was able to give you to bring back and to bring to where you are now?
A lot of the things that I experienced in Japan, I brought them as a promoter now, because I noticed that we are being used in many aspects as sexual objects in many different companies. So with that said, when I talk to the ladies, I always tell them, like, if you're a pretty young lady and you're an athlete, a lot of us use our sex appeal to sell tickets, to engage our fans. But when you use that, and you use it in a respectful way, and you use it in an empowering way, you don't feel like used. And I feel like a lot of times, like, you go out there and then like have you like do photo shoots and they have you do a bunch of stuff that you not necessarily feel comfortable, but you have to do it because it comes with the territory, right? So like I said, I learned a lot. In the ring, I learned a lot. Like Io Shirai was my trainer. But outside of the ring, in terms of business wise, I saw the best and the worst, and I saw like that every promoter has like their prototype of who a star can be and who the jobber is gonna be, and those are like the two things. There's nothing in the middle. So I didn't like that. When I came back from Japan, it was like literally my whole solo point of becoming a professional wrestler and wrestling here in America was to become one of the most successful women of color as professional wrestler. That's what I learned in Japan.
The one thing that I've noticed throughout the years in the bigger companies and all the way down, because let's be honest, until around 2015, before the evolution, women weren't getting the chances, is that the women weren't able to have their own individuality. Like you were talking about, this woman's going to do this. She's going to be the beauty model. This person's going to be clumsy. But they weren't allowed to bring their individuality. You, on the other hand, do bring that individuality. Whichever promotion that you are wrestling in at the time, you are you. Talk to me a little bit about that.
I mean, for me, it is important that people see me, as Thunder Rosa, as a strong representation of a woman. I'm not necessarily going to say, oh, I'm a role model. I'm not a role model. I believe in myself. I am confident about myself. I'm confident about my abilities. And I believe that, in my beauty, inside and outside. And I think I bring that every time in the ring, even when I'm heel or a baby face. I always bring that every time. And even when my character is a baby face or a heel, it's people always like remember me because there's like something very honest about myself. And I never change that for anything. It's like, it's very important that people see through this makeup and they can see that I'm a real person and that I care for other people.
You just mentioned the makeup. What made you go with that aspect as far as your character goes? You're a very beautiful woman, and a lot of beautiful women may not want to go the face paint route or wear a mask or something of that nature. But what made you go into the face paint route?
Well, at first, like I didn't have face paint on. I just came as me, but I wasn't really getting over. And then a promoter said that I should wear face paint, and that was in Lucha Extreme. So I started wearing like full face paint. And then in Japan, I was trying to get over just with this side. Didn't work out. So after I got a concussion on the first tour, that's when I started using the face paint, and then that's when I started playing around with. If I was in Japan, I was using like anime style, like looking paint, and then I would just went to the more traditional Day of the Dead type stuff.
Working for a big promotion, let's be honest, your biggest claim to fame, as far as a lot of people know, is being the NWA Women's Championship. How much about the NWA did you know before you actually signed with them?
That it was one of the most prestigious and the oldest companies in the world. And when I was in Japan, all the Japanese people were like, "Oh my God, NWA, NWA!" So it was a big deal. And once I got signed, I just made the best out of it.
You are also someone who dabbles in mixed martial arts a lot.
Yes.
You have had a professional fight, lost that one by decision. Are you preparing to fight again anytime soon? Is that something that you're still wanting to do as well?
Yes, I am. I'm actually in the process of looking for an opportunity to fight again. But again, due to the COVID, it's very, very difficult to like get a fight. I am signed with Combating Americas for another year. So my whole goal is before I get in La Jaula with them, I want to have another match so I can get again more experience, because I really do want to do well in MMA. And like I said, I just work just as hard as I do in professional wrestling. So I love martial arts, mixed martial arts, and it's again, it just humbles me all the time. Every time I'm in the mats, it's just like it's a learning experience.
Is that something that you dabbled in before you got into professional wrestling, or did it all come at the same time?
And I started last year, man. I started when I was 33. I trained for like 4 months before my first professional fight. I didn't even have an amateur fight. So I went for everything.
See, I'm loving that about you because everything that you are doing it as a sort of what they would call a late bloomer, but you are chasing your dreams. Just like us, we started this podcast not too long ago, but we talked about it for years. We were just sitting at our shoot jobs, like, and all we talked about was wrestling, and we were just finally like, let's do it. What are we waiting for? What is the
Yeah.
reason that we're waiting for? So, are you just that way with everything? Like, I'm going to do it no matter what. You're headstrong, or are you somebody that has to be talked into some things sometimes?
No, I just if the idea is sparked and I have the chance to do it, I'll just go for it. You only live once, right?
Someone told me you only die once too, so that's about the same thing. So yes, I 100% agree with that. This time around, if you were to get that mixed martial arts fight, outside of just having the little extra training, what do you feel that's different from you right now than from the first fight?
I believe in myself and my abilities. I think that's key. Confidence. Like when you can come in there with no confidence, it's like you're pretty much kind of like you're ready to lose, So yeah, the confidence is there.
Right. Is that how you have been in your wrestling career? Now you're way more confident in who you are than from where you first
Oh
started?
yeah, 1,000%. Yes.
Was there
Yes.
ever a talent that you were just fully humbled by wrestling, where you thought, I've got this, and then when you stepped in the ring with them, you thought to yourself, "Ooh, I'm a little bit out of my league right now. I wasn't prepared for this talent
I was
yet."
I will say like a lot of the lucha stuff when I first started, I was just like, oh, like 3 minutes in, I was already gassed. So yeah,
I'm gassed watching you guys wrestle now. So Tom has actually spent a little bit time in the business before as well, and he just tells me, matches will just wear you down.
yeah, that's true.
So let's talk just a little bit about you. You
Hmm?
very seldom have any spare time as it is, but when you do, and you're off, and you don't have to think about wrestling, what is it that Thunder Rosa loves to do?
Sleep. That's the only thing I want to do is just want to sleep. I love sleeping, and I like I like eating a lot, but um, again, I'm in a diet right now, so it's kind of hard to like go to my favorite restaurants and eat donuts and all the delicious food, Tex-Mex food from Texas. Yeah, I'm a pretty chill person, man. I don't really do much. I don't have time to do much. And when the movies were open, the movie theaters were open, I used to go to the movies like 3 times a week.
What's your go-to movie?
It has to be either comedy or action.
So are you somebody who just like Netflix and chills a lot? Or are there any shows that you're kind of binge watching right now when you have time?
I just finished. I've been getting into anime again. I didn't used to like anime before. Well, I did when I was like really young, but I just finished the series called Parasite in Netflix. It was really interesting. I liked it a lot. And then on Hulu, I was watching My Hero Academia. And it was like I'm in season 2, but it's like so hard because can't pay attention because I'm moving some.
Right now with the pandemic going on, you mentioned the Mission Pro Wrestling. Your next card is when?
November 6th.
November 6th. And who can we see on that card so far? Are you allowed to say who are some of the
Oh
talents
yeah,
on that card?
you can totally go on our website and see everybody, but I'll just say it from the back of my head. Raylan is having a match with me. We're going singles. I was gonna defend the championship, but I lost the championship, so it's gonna be a 1-on-1. Then I have it's a tournament. So we have Lacey Ryan, Rosa Negra. Let's see how many people we have. The ladies from Colorado. Um, we have so many girls. Let me just get back on it. I'm blanking out because there's so many, and we just had a couple changes. Let's see, Heidi. Aligato. Let's see. Jenna Van Muscles. Oh my God, I'm like blanking out. This is terrible.
You're fine. Hey, you got so much going on. It's understandable.
No, I'm like, no, it's not understandable. It's not understandable. It's my own promotion. I'm like, I can't remember. No, no, we have like really good talent, like I said. Oh, Vanity. I'm just like saying it from the back of my head. Vanity, Ver Vixen, Rachel Rose, Insidious, Maddie, Heidi, no, Alex Garcia's not gonna be there. Rachel Riveter and Wad. There you go. Boom,
Gotcha.
boom. Got everybody.
Hey, that's fine. So, in 3 or 4 years, what is your main goal with the Mission Pro Wrestling? Would you like to get a major TV deal with that, or is it something that you would...
That would be super awesome. If not, like we would like to do like YouTube series, and like really start implementing or like having people that we have taught how to do production and editing and everything to do that for us. So it's like the whole like kind of like a school kind of thing. There's a couple projects that we're working on that I'm not allowed to talk about until I get the finalized stuff. So, but it's really good. I'm telling you, like the Mission Pro Wrestling is gonna grow bigger than any other promotion that is owned by women and run by women. Again, there is a lot of women promotions, but they're not run by women.
I would love to see something like that on national television, or at least something where it could be on a streaming device, full out like an episodic show that features nothing but the women. Because let's be honest, some of the women that you have just mentioned are on the very cusp themselves, and some of the women that you have mentioned that were on your last show, like the Alex Gracias and talent like that, they're almost there as well. So you have the talent sitting there. And I think it's a fantastic concept. I love it. And I really hope that's something that really comes to fruition for you in the next year.
And it will. Like, it's just the matter of finding the right people, working with the right people, and doing all that stuff.
Well, Thunder Rosa, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for jumping on with myself and Tom tonight. I know, like I said, you are super busy. And plus, it's a Wednesday night. There is wrestling going on to watch. Do you get to sit down and actually just watch wrestling much?
I don't got time, man. I don't got time. No, like right now, I'm like literally like gonna be looking at all my flights, and I have to look for flights for my next show. I have to get organized, like the last details for numbers in terms of like things that we need to like tally for our budget for next show. So it's like always on the go, making sure that everything it's set and ready to go for next Friday. It's a lot. So if I slack one day, I'm messed up. So no, I don't have time.
Well, like I said, you're the hottest name in female wrestling right now, especially on social media. And I wish you all the best of luck in whatever it is that you decide in your career. And I look forward to finding out exactly what that is.
Well, thank you. And like I said, whatever it is, like I'm happy with what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm very, very focused on becoming a better MMA fighter in the next couple months. That's going to be a lot of my focus is going to be on that and building women's professional wrestling. And I am so excited to like show to you guys what plans we have in like the camaraderie that we're creating with other women from all over the world.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And for everyone out there, make sure you guys are staying safe so you can come out and support all the talent across the world, especially this young lady right here. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and don't forget, I was going to tell you before we leave, you guys can watch the show if you are not going to be in Texas on TitleMatchNetwork.com. Even if not, if you guys want to purchase the show, it's going to be on www.missionprowrestling.net. Everything is there. You guys can purchase it too.
There you go, guys. There you go. And we'll retweet that information tonight because we do follow Mission Pro Wrestling, so we'll make sure to
Thank you.
get that out there. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.